Thanks for the support as a channel member, Austin Hartman. Yeah, I've been enjoying being able to expense all this travel around Europe as well. I don't want this to end. We've got a trip back to England today. It's fantastic. We just need to hope everything goes our way and we can have another Europa League run in the new year. We had the time of our lives last year. This is what we wanted all along. Hello and welcome to part 54 of the Greek Odyssey. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we are at home against Panathinaikos in the league and then away against Manchester City in our final Champions League group game. We've not done anything since you were last with me. The last thing you saw was the last thing we did. So reminder, the league table looks like that. We are 4 points behind Olympiacos, but with a game in hand on them. That game in hand is the game we're playing now against Panathinaikos, who are 1 point behind us. So another big league game. And then we've got the Champions League. I'm going to call it decider. It's not really. City and Atletico already through to the knockout rounds. I've just got to hope that City decide to rest their team whilst Atletico decide to go for the group win and go out there and thump Leipzig, because either of those outcomes and we've got a good chance of a third place finish and more glorious Thursday night football after the Christmas break. We don't even have a break in the new year. You know what I mean. Should we play Panathinaikos? I think we should. This is the team we're going to put out there to do that. We've got Werner in goal. This isn't me going back to Werner ahead of Mendy. As you can see, Mendy has picked up an injury. He's only probably going to miss this game, but it does mean a rare substitute appearance for Todd Thomas. So Werner on the bench. Werner in the team, Thomas on the bench. A back four of Pinheiro, Michaelis, Lawson and Kalapitas. Lebrou at the base of the midfield with Bozic and Cordoba ahead of him. And then Della Vega and Marola supporting Feliciano up front. Damien is just shattered after his recent exploits. He has made his England debut recently as well. So he now has one cap for England. So he's just having a little bit of a rest as we need him for the Manchester City game. There's a chance we might have to somehow try and do the unlikely / maybe even impossible and get a result away against Manchester City. And we're not going to do that with a tired Damien. So Feliciano can play today. I do fully expect us to win this game. We are at home against a team that we know we're better than because we've beaten them many times over the years. It's not too far in the past that we were saying Panathinaikos probably weren't even one of the big four here in Greece anymore, but they've had something of a resurgence this year, which is strange because we're seeing PAOK down in 9th place, who had been spending like nobody's business, beating me to signings, and I just assumed the big four now as Olympiacos, Apollon, PAOK and Ike, but clearly Panathinaikos and PAOK have had other ideas, and I think it was Panathinaikos who missed out on the Champions Group last year. PAOK very much in danger of doing it this year, and Panathinaikos right back in the mix again for this title. Della Vega, ball over the top. Feliciano is in and has the shot that is pushed over the crossbar by the Panathinaikos goalkeeper. And Feliciano, this is his first opportunity for a start, so it's going to be interesting to have a proper look at him. When we signed him, it was with a view to him being our bench warmer this year, but potentially being in a position to take over from Damien as our starting striker next season. And it's when he gets these little opportunities like this one that we really have to have a good look at him and decide how realistic a proposition that is, or whether we need to be looking to invest more heavily in a proper Damien replacement. Let's face it, we're not going to get another striker who can do what Damien did to Leipzig. We're not going to get someone else who's an England international, but I wonder if we could maybe do better than Feliciano when the time comes. Right, I'm not happy with the performances out there. We should be winning games like this. Let's do better in this second half. But it's not us who's got the ball. It's Panathinaikos with a ball over the top. Michaelis is there to cover, though. Della Vega had time. There's nobody on him there. He had time to just bring that down, look up and pick a pass. Instead, he's flicked it onto nobody and left us in a huge amount of trouble as Panathinaikos just continue knocking the ball around, waiting to pick their spot. We're supposed to be gegenpressing. We need to get the ball back off them here and get up the other end and do a football. This is unacceptable how long we're letting them have the ball for. Kalapitas attempted a clearance. It completely backfired, but his buddy Ryan Lawson is there to clean up his mess and put the ball through the big TV there in the corner. Good job. We're in the process of sorting a new ground, although we're not going to be moving in for 2.5 years, so we can't crack the telly just yet. Lovely tackle from Marola. And there are players getting stuck in and trying to get something going in this game. We're just struggling to get the ball forward. Here is the possibility for an attack, though, through Feliciano, who goes past his man. He has got options in the middle, and that's a penalty, surely. I suspect it might be outside of the area, but we're going to be asking for a penalty. Ref's going over to his little telly, clearly looking for something to watch. If you want something to watch, you should maybe head over to Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday and Sunday, 8 p.m. UK time. Link is down in the description. I mean, that actually fit perfect. I've had that one ready for like 3 episodes, waiting for a walk over to the little telly. It's not often they're planned. The real news, though, is that it's not a penalty. It's a free kick. They have booked the Panathinaikos defender, and we've now got, I mean, look how close that is. The line is touching. Feliciano drills it across goal, and it just needed a touch from anybody, and it's just made it all the way through at like nipple height. How has nobody got anything on that just to push it into the back of the net? And we're going to need to change something up here, because we are not looking like scoring a goal. It's Panathinaikos with the ball again. There's a little over 20 minutes remaining in this match. They'll be really happy with a draw, just like we were happy with a draw away against Olympiacos in the last match, in the last episode. They'll be happy with this draw. We are not happy with this draw. We need to continue to put pressure on Olympiacos. They're winning a lot of football matches. We can't afford to start drawing too many. Feliciano's clear here, and he's had 2 one-on-ones in this game and fluffed his lines both times. He's on the bench. On you come, Damien. You've got 20 minutes to go and prove just what a difference maker you are. We haven't got any wingers on the bench, though, which is a bit of a problem, so I wanted to change up the winger. Labru can come off and Amran can get more game time back there. We're going to go attack him, and that'll do. That'll do for now. We're going to demand more. We've got a corner. It's De La Vega with the in-swinger. Damien's there. What a difference maker that man is. He's been on the pitch no more than 20 seconds. That has to be Damien's first touch of the ball. And like I say, he is a goal scorer. He is a difference maker. He is going to be very, very difficult to replace at the end of this season, because we're not going to get anyone else like him. And I think we all need to brace ourselves now that next season we're not going to be as good a team as we are this season. And I know that's a bit of a rarity in Football Manager, but unless we stumble across £70 million and are able to buy him permanently, we are going to be a worse team next year when we lose the spine of our team. It's been the spine of our team for 3 years. Lawson, Duffy and Damien arrived in our first season in the Super League. That's how significant a role they've played in the team we've become, and we are having the heart ripped out of our team in the summer, and it's going to take a lot of replacing. Next year is very much going to be a consolidation season. Do not expect a title next year. Damien grabs goal number 20 for the season. I think is the ref disallowing it? He's not. He's allowing it. It's 2-0. Job done. We have beaten Panathinaikos, unless something goes desperately wrong. Opens a little bit of a gap between us and them, second to third. And also Olympiacos, I guess they must have drawn a game with an earlier kickoff, because they're the gap. Oh, in fact, they've lost a game. So we are the only undefeated team left in the Super League, which is very interesting. I don't know who beat Olympiacos. That happened before this match. I probably should have been a little bit more aware of that going on. Pinheiro trying to force his way through, but can't. And I now want to see what's gone on there. We're getting a penalty here. This feels like a very soft... No, yeah, it would have been a very soft penalty. It hasn't been given, and it's now with Michaelis. So, yeah, getting back onto squad building plans for the summer. We are obviously going to be trying to get in on some of the pre-contracts coming up very, very soon. It's the 8th of December now. I just asked Mrs Wearmouth for more money, and she gave me £8 million off the back of our Champions League run. So we've got money to spend in January. I'm of a mind at this point to convert the vast majority of it to wage budget and really go after some top-tier out-of-contract players. And really, we're looking for a real top-level centre-back, central midfielder and striker. We need to replace that core of the team that we know is leaving, and then fill in other gaps from there. And if we can't do it with these out-of-contract players, then we need to be thinking in terms of some big money some big money signings, going out there and spending 6, 7, 8 million pounds on a player in each of those positions, which then makes it really important that we get in the Champions League again next year. And at the moment, the only way to guarantee that is to win the league. It all links together in a complicated maze of confusion. But bottom line is, win all our games, sign the best players we can, and we'll be good. So that's what the Super League looks like, 13 games in. I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's see if we can do something remarkable against Manchester City. Well, I had hoped to have Mendy back in the team for this game, but he's now re-injured. He's now done a pulled hamstring and is going to be out for a couple more weeks. So Werner keeps his place in goal. What we are doing, though, is starting Baldi at right back. He's not really a right back. He probably shouldn't be playing wing back on attack, but my assistant manager has been pushing for it for a while. And I figured if ever there was a time to play a proper defender, it was against Manchester City, who are likely to be really coming at us. I don't anticipate having him as a wing back on attack for the entire game, but we've got to start trying to win the match. If it looks like it's all going wrong, we can at least switch things up, maybe go to a 3, Pinheiro. We've got options. That's the logic. We're then going with Lebrou, Duffy and Cordoba in midfield. Damien comes back in up front, obviously, because he's Damien. Why wouldn't we be playing him in a game like this? Interestingly, and I'd forgotten about this when the draw originally happened, Ryan Lawson is allowed to play against his parent club. Apparently, it's only in England that we have the whole not being allowed to play against your parent club rule. Right, we're huge underdogs. We're doing that team talk. So Lawson, I mean, he's never played a game for Manchester City. And I imagine there's going to be a few City fans watching this, knowing they signed him from us all those years ago. And now he's been in Greece on loan for like 4 years. Probably forgot they spent £5 million on him. I thought Marola had scored there. But they're now getting to see him play at their ground in the Champions League. And we'll probably be having a proper look at him and making some decisions about whether they see him slotting into their back four. Part of me hopes he has a terrible game, they rule him out forever and we get to sign him permanently. But it's kind of more important that he has a good game because we need to try and get into this Europa League. I'm not sure I think it's 0-0 in all games at the moment. They are all playing at the same time, which is a bit of a relief. At least we'll know what's going on in the Leipzig game. I'm not sure there is a scenario that leaves us level on points with them. In fact, there is. I think if we draw and they win, we end up level on points, and that still leaves us third because we have a better head-to-head with Leipzig after what we did to them a couple of episodes ago. We've given away a really sloppy penalty. This has happened a few too many times in this Champions League run where we're just not quite good enough for the teams we're playing, and we give a penalty away. Werner goes the right way and looks like he's making the save, but then doesn't make the save. Now, it's really important that Atletico beat Leipzig, or at least don't lose against Leipzig, because this is the one danger scenario where we can drop out of Europe entirely. If we lose, which we almost certainly will, we were probably going to lose before, but now we're a goal down, we're almost certainly going to lose. So if we lose and Leipzig win, then we are out of Europe completely. Thankfully, it looks like Atletico have just gone ahead against Leipzig. So it doesn't matter how much of a beating we get here. As long as Leipzig also lose at least 1-0, we're into the Europa League. And that is the only goal of today. What do we get the score in the other game? Apparently we don't. We can see they've dropped down to 3 points. So they must be losing. But we're not showing any... There you go. We can do it that way. How did I never know that before? I've never noticed that little arrow. So Leipzig losing 1-0 away against Atletico Madrid. Long may that continue. We're now 2-0 down against City, and they are just toying with us. They could have comfortably had a third there. Remember when we nearly scored at the start of the game and I got a little bit excited? That feels like a long time ago already. I don't even know what I do in this second half. Oh, Ryan. I guess in the circumstances, it's the best thing you could do, because now City fans know how rubbish you are. And Michaelis proving again that he's the best defender at the club. I genuinely think, give it another year or two, I think Ryan Lawson might be the one we miss the least out of the players who are going back, because I think if we do find another good centre-back, either on an expiring contract or bring him in next summer, I think I partner them with Michaelis. Michaelis is proving time and time again just how good he is. He's seen off Kios already. And I think that's a good save from Werner. I think Michaelis is going to be in our defence for a long time to come. Yeah, as is Pinheiro. The other two spots definitely need work. The goalkeeper definitely needs work. But looking at my long-term team, I definitely see Michaelis and Pinheiro in it. I definitely see Cordoba and Bozic in it. I definitely see... not much else. Not much else. Marola is here for another year. So we've got another 18 months of Marola yet. I'm still sort of half confident we might be able to sign him permanently eventually. By the time he goes back to Milan, he'll be 26, I think, and will have been here for 5 years. Surely they're just going to let us keep him at that point. He'll be able to get a Greek passport by the time he goes back to Milan, I would imagine. We're actually not doing too badly in this game. I need to be paying a little bit more attention to what's going on in the Atletico Leipzig match. Although Leipzig, even if it's still 1-0, Leipzig have to score twice. A draw isn't enough to put them up even level on points with us. So they do need to win to move above us, providing we lose. And obviously we're going to lose, but Leipzig do need a big turnaround. And we saw from when we played them, they're not that good. So the chances of a turnaround from them are pretty unlikely. The other thing that is interesting, which must have happened or I don't even know if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, but the other thing that is worth us investigating is how Olympiacos are getting on. We already know from yesterday that Olympiacos are also already knocked out of the Champions League, and they have far fewer points than us. We've had a much better Champions League performance than they have, but we do want them to make it into the Europa League as well for two reasons. Reason one, it helps with the UEFA coefficient. The better Greek teams do in general, the better the coefficient is. We're trying to move our league further forward so we get more qualification spots. But also, if we're going to be in Europe after Christmas and getting distracted by Europe, we want them in Europe getting distracted as well, so they don't just run away with the league. Atletico now 2-0 up over Leipzig, and I think it is fairly safe to say that we're going to be in the Europa League at this point. And we just made a couple of changes. Kieran Blavin's playing Champions League football out on that left wing. Let us know down in the comments if you're watching, Kieran. I hope you are. Why would a channel member not be watching? Say hello, Kieran. You get today's pinned tweet. Pinned comment. As long as it's something insightful. Don't just write first. If you write first, you're not that. I'm not pinning first. No matter Blavins or no Blavins, first doesn't get pinned or even acknowledged. It just gets ignored. Right. We have a long throw. It's going to be Kalapitas to hurl it into the area, looking for Damien, who gets there, but can't find the back of the net. Damien, I think, again, a lot of English football fans who don't know anything about Damien have seen him make his England debut and we're a little bit confused because they don't know who he is. Maybe have only seen him play in these two games against Manchester City, because you know what English fans are like. They're not going to watch Apollon versus Leipzig. I know some of you would. But they wouldn't have seen him have his good game in the Champions League. They'd have seen him play against City twice and just not look like a threat. So, again, hopefully downvaluing Damien. That's the goal. Right. You gave it everything. Well done, boys. Let's just double check that we definitely did make it into the Europa League. Did Leipzig lose? They did. So we should now get our confirmation through. We are in the Europa League, but we do have to do the first qualifying round this year. So last year, from winning our group, we got straight into the second qualifying round. This year, we're one of those big, horrible, scary teams that comes in the first knockout round. I don't know when the draw for that happens, but I think it's fairly safe to assume that's going to be in the next episode. Do we know when that's going to be? Euro Cup. Oh, they've not even finished playing their groups yet, so it's going to be a little while. But the first knockout round, can we even look at that yet? No. So I don't even know when those games are played, but probably next episode would be my guess. We're back in the Europa League, boys and girls. Thursday nights. Here we come. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.